Hey everybody, welcome to Mondays with Mary. This episode is going to be slightly different than I've done in the past because this week we are going to review the new Waffle Flower Background Blending brushes. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that I feel that every brush has its place in my arsenal. Every brush has a job that it does well. And when I saw these, I thought, and then I thought about it and I watched a video of theirs and I thought, well, they're not cheap, but let's give it a try. So, as far as I know, the date of this video, they're sold out. So I guess they're doing something right. But I don't know. Does it fit in our arsenal? Does it do something that another brush doesn't do? Does it do it better? We're going to find out. And I went ahead because they had a percentage off and got the bundle, which included a 4-pack of their, I think they call them tan white. Okay, white brushes, which you can see I haven't opened yet. And then it came with the, let's see if we can do this. 4-pack of what they call the reds and a 4-pack of what they called the greens. And I thought before I got them how weird it was that they had reds and greens but no blues. But then they do have all the colors. And if you take them out and you mix them around, you do have the whole color spectrum. I've got them temporarily in this container, but they don't quite fit. So, but as you can see, I have not used any of them yet because I want my reaction to be spontaneous. So we're going to compare the Waffle Flower. So the Waffle Flower is short and compact. And if you see my hand, they don't mush when you press. Compared to these are the Pink Fresh ones. You'll see they're about the same length. Pink Fresh is a little bit longer, but you can see the difference how the Pink Fresh, see how it flares out, and that makes it nice that it gives a soft look for us who are heavy-handed. So we're going to be comparing those. We're going to compare the Recollections, which has around the same length, but it's a little bit more compact than this one is. And then I've got the Altenew, if I can get it out. They're big, round, and there is somewhere in between. It's a bigger surface, shorter bristles, but a wider surface. I brought out the pouncer, but the pouncer works totally different, so we're not even going to include the pouncer. I like the pouncer for doing backgrounds, where it has to, especially if you're doing like a scene, like a sunset or silhouettes. The pouncers work really well. They don't, because of the way they're made, the mushroom kind of, they're not made for blending, so we're not gonna even throw that in the mix. So we're gonna compare these, and then we're gonna compare the standard long-handled blending brush, which I just got a brand new set of yesterday, because no matter what, you know, they get to a point and then they get crispy. And then when they're crispy, you get those little lines. It's, yeah. And I've washed them and still crispy. So we started over. So we've got 5 to compare. All right. So first we're gonna do is just compare just a regular blending motion. And we're gonna use, I've got Simon Hurley's inks that we're gonna test. All right. So let's go first with our, I've got this mat down, but I've got just plain copy paper down, because the brush is going to stick if you don't have something kind of slick. So let me, all right. So I'm going in with the regular brush, and then starting off and going in. All right, so then let's try the recollections. And we're going to do the same thing. And see, now the recollections is a wider, tighter. Not sure where that came from. And then let's get our Pink Fresh. Now I got caught right there, and I think that's why it's heavier there. So let me get another. So this is our blending brush. This is our recollection. This is our Pink Fresh. And then we're going to go in. I think these are just called the large brushes. Now this one, you see how I have to use a lot more pressure on that one to get that one to go. That's all to new. And then let's try our new brush. All right, now these are supposed to be held like this. I don't know if my hand will allow me to do that. We'll see. We'll give it a try. Now that's a super light. So this is the new Waffle Flower one. So there, I'm gonna ignore this one because I got caught. So there's our regular long-handled blending brush. There's the Recollections, the Pink Fresh, the Alta New, and the Waffle Flower. And the Waffle Flower, because it is so tight, it does take a little bit more effort, and it could be because it's so weird to hold it that way. That's a little bit better. I do like that it doesn't, it seems more smoother. You don't see, it's kind of, the Recollection is kind of like that too. You don't see the circles. This isn't as smooth. So I don't know. All right, so one of the things that Waffle Flower says is that, we're gonna put these away for right now because they do have to settle. One of the things that they say is that they make a halo. You know, like if you take front of your card and you go intense and then it kind of halos out. So, how many do we have? We have 5. So I am just going to do a rough kind of, I want these on the same. Well, so much for my being able to draw a straight line. All right, hold on. We kind of got a little up here. I just want to pretend that I've got 4 cards. And see the effect. So let's go down here. Okay. That's a little bit better. This is why I don't draw. Because when they say I can't draw a straight line, I mean it. Not sure why I thought I could do that without a ruler, but hey. All right. All right, here we go. Would help if I got all the eraser crumbs out of the way. All right. Excuse me. All right, so we're supposed to go round and round, which I normally do. Some people don't, but I normally do with all my brushes. So, all right, so we start in the middle and then go out. Give that kind of halo-ish look. All right. Here we go. Here's a pink brush. Let's do the recollections. Now, the reason I bought these is because they're good because they're pointed about getting into tight corners, but I'm not sure that this is gonna do this very well. Well, it's a little lopsided. And that's me. But it does do that. Maybe I'm not pressing hard enough. Hold on. I have to give everybody a fair chance here. Whoops. Oh, now I've done it. Hold that thought. I'm messing everything up. All right, here we go. All right, Pink Fresh. You're up next. Do you go round and round? Let me know in comments. I've always gone round and round with brushes. All right, now our long handle brush. Now this is the one that concerns me, starting in the middle, but yeah. All right. I don't know if it's because of the way they're shaped, but these never work good if you start in the middle. So, all right. And then we've got Altenew. Now, this is just, I think 80-pound Nina Solu. I'm going to turn this over. And this is the Altenew brush. Yeah, this isn't a brush to do that technique with either. because when you start in the middle, it goes right there in the middle, no matter what you're doing. So out of the three, for this, I think, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Let me try this again. Wait, that was Pink Fresh. This is Waffle Flower. Let's try Waffle Flower again. Let me hold these down because they're moving and making it more difficult. I'm pretty sure that you need, with these brushes, you would need to make sure that your ink pad is nice and juicy. All right, so that's better. That's better with the dark and then the lighter going around. But yeah, I don't know, but I think so. I think it's better. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with these now that they're drying. I actually like the Waffle Flower and the Recollections the best. They've got that softer look. But the next thing we're gonna do, so we've compared them, just blending across, and then doing the halo. We've done that. So now I want to compare, let's see, we have 5 sheets. Now I want to compare what they look like when we blend 3 colors together. So I've got red, I've got yellow, I've got blue, just a typical. And I want to see how they blend across the page into each other. So we're going to start off with the Waffle Flower. I must say, see, now I like it better this way. And I must say it does go across the page nicely. All right, so there's our red. And then we're going to get some yellow in here. Leave me a comment, what do you think so far? Like I said, these were not cheap. I think a set of 4 is $30. Let's get a blue. But brushes are expensive. And this is not the best cardstock, so let's get some more yellow in here. Get some green going. Oh, it does make a pretty blend, a very pretty blend. Let me get a little bit more blue going. That is pretty. All right. Let me get these out of the way. All right. So this is our waffle flower. Let's do our recollections because they're sitting right here next to me. Let me know in comments what brushes are your favorites. What are you using? Do you use just one set of brushes for everything? And if so, what is it that you use? Do you have your favorites? Now, I have smaller brushes, you know, like the Altenew Mini, and then, you know, the fine detail ones. But those are a totally different category. There is no way. Let me get some more blue. I really like these, but they do get my fingers tired after a while because of this shortness of, you know, having to hold them down here. So I don't think if I was doing a large project I would use these, but I do like them a lot, especially for the price. All right, so this is our recollection, and this is what we've got so far. Now we're not gonna ever get close, you know, matching, but get some more, yeah. All right, so that is recollections and the waffle flower. The waffle flower gives a deeper, which I like. I like them both. I like them both so far. All right, we've done those. Oh, we need our Pink Fresh. All right, here we go. You'll see how Pink Fresh really spreads out. So we've got, let's do some blue. the Pink Fresh looks, at first, when you first put it on, it looks like it's got more like texture, I guess is what I'm saying. You can see the brush. So, you know, I guess it depends on the look you're going for. All right. So that's our Pink Fresh. I'll let that come over here and sit with these. All right, what do we got next? We have, the blending brushes. All right. Oh, I almost put red into yellow. That would not be good. My blending brushes are brand new, but yet they're kind of patchy, blotchy, I guess is the word. All right, so this was our blending brush. And then we just have our Altenew left. Yeah, this looks much better coming off the page first than starting in the middle. All right, I need to grab the blue and the yellow. All right, so I got the yellow and the blue. And then we'll be done comparing apples to apples, I guess. I'm not quite sure why there's It's like my brush is shorter in the middle or something for it to cause that weird look right then. All right, let's get the yellow going. Well, that did not work. Going in the middle here with these just does not work. I just kind of like threw yellow right. Yeah, that is not a good look. So we know what this brush is not good for. I guess it makes good bubbles or balloons if you want that look. But you definitely cannot start in the middle of a page with this kind of, I don't know. You know, I could work on it more, but I didn't have to work that hard with the other ones, so that's a no. So this is all to new. All right, now I realize the other ones have had time to set, but let's compare. All right. And I am going to cover these up before I stick my finger in an ink pad and have deep regrets. All right, so let me get this clean here. All right, so this was the Altenew, and that's a negative. This one was the blending brushes. I am not happy with the way this turned out. I mean, it's kind of freckly. This is Pink Fresh. This is Waffle Flower. And this is Recollections. And I have to say, for blending the colors, I have to say that I prefer the Pink Fresh. And not the Pink Fresh, I'm sorry. Wait. Waffle Flower. Where was the Pink Fresh? Oh, here's the Pink Fresh. And it was okay, but I really do like the way these two blended, kind of, they just melted into each other color-wise. This one's more intense. This is more of a like an ethereal, kind of like dreamy. This was the Recollections. And this is the Waffle Flower. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, this, for this 3-color kind of test blending, those are my favorites. This was the Pink Fresh again. And the blending brush. And Altenew. This Altenew would be great if you want to do circles or bubbles, like I said. But that's not even, no. Nope. So, that being said, All right, so 3, if I had to choose 3, those would be it. Waffle Flower, Pink Fresh, and the Recollections. Let's go back to these now that they've settled. Brush, no. Pink Fresh, Recollections, Waffle Flower. Yeah, I think those are coming out the winners between the 3. All right, so I'm done comparing one brush to the other. What I need to find out, because you know if you follow me how much I love stencils, is, will it work on stencils? So I've actually got this stencil from Spellbinders, and it actually has 3 different patterns in it. So I thought this would be perfect because we can see how it works in small and large areas. And we'll give that a go, and then we're going to call it. And then I need your feedback. I need you to tell me what you think. All right, so I got more card here. All right, so we're gonna do just the little circles, the circle pattern here. And I'm just gonna hold it because we're not doing something any scientific. We'll use let's use the blue. And we'll see how it works through a stencil. And you know, I can honestly say I don't remember if I've ever tried this with the Pink Fresh, so we're going to do that real quick. I know I said we weren't going to compare, but we are. Because I can't remember if I've used the Pink Fresh. The Pink Fresh I would not use on a stencil that you had to be careful with because they do just kind of spread out. All right. So there is the Waffle Flower. There's the Pink Fresh. And I like that, you know, I use just a regular hand on this, and so it came out light. The circles are full. I actually like that it gives a darker and then a lighter, so it's doing the job for you, you know, as opposed to it's just a solid color. I do like that. All right, so that's the circles. Let's try this part of the peach ball. I'm gonna do this in red. Not that it makes excuse me. Not that it makes any difference. I'm off my grip mat, and now everything's sliding, so hold on. Now, over here, I'm going to do a very light hand. Barely touching. No pressure, just touching. Yeah. And there again, it's got that darker shading on the edges. So I think that's good. I think that's perfect. I like that. All right, one more, and we're gonna do a larger area and see how that works. And then I need your guys' opinion. It's like, what do you think? Which one did you like? We'll go over which one is which again, so that you can have a clear clear vision. All right, where's my yellow? All right, so both of these are large. You know, I like that I don't have to start off, because I don't know how many times I forget to do that. I like that it's just forgiving that way. All right. And there we go. All right, so that is large, the medium, and then the small. So the Pink Fresh, because the brush bristles spread out more, you get a darker right off the bat. So even with a, you know, a lighter hand. All right. So I did this so you don't have to. So you can make an informed purchase. All right, so now pay attention so you can let me know. I'm going to put these two in, even though this was the Altenew. And I can't even keep track here. Hold on. Altenew. Regular long handled blending brushes. Pink Fresh. Recollections by Michaels. And then the Waffle Flower. So, as I said, I think out of all of these, I think I like the Waffle Flower the best. This one was nice, but over here it tended to get kind of muddy. And that could have just been because I had to go over it again. I don't know. But I do like that softer ethereal type look. But as I said, using these, I love these because you can get into, you know, a corner. But for, if I was going to do, you know, mass production like at Christmas or whatever, these would not be the ones that I'd use because my hands are old, as you can see. And I did have carpal tunnel surgery on this side, and I need to have it on this side. But gripping for a long time, I can feel the stress here. So I wouldn't recommend these if you know, I like them and I use them, but I would not recommend them for a big project if you have hand issues, because you will have really tired, achy hands at the end. So let me know in comments, what do you think? I want to use them more, but right now I'm liking them, and I'm thinking that they were a good addition to my brush arsenal. But you know, to be fair, you know, you need to use things for a while. But I do like the feel. It's, I don't know if I could do that because of this, but this felt like using a pencil, just a thick pencil or a big piece of chalk. So, and this doesn't hurt at all. And I think that it worked fine, me holding it like this. So, all right, so there you go. There you have it. We've tested them all, and that's what I think right now. And they weren't given to me. I don't have any sponsors. I'm not a big time. Everything that I have, I've purchased. So it's honest review. But yeah. I'm actually anxious to use them on some other projects in the near future. So, all right, so comments, please let me know what you think. I think the bundle, okay, I can't remember, but I know that if you bought them individually, they're $30 for a 4-pack, which means that would have been $90, but it was discounted. And I think it was probably maybe $80, which sounds like a lot, but in this day and age, with things getting more expensive here in the United States, it's not as much as you think. You know, I mean, when I look at the brushes, like these brushes now, they're twice as much as they used to be when I first bought them a couple of years ago. So, but you need to use your money wisely and make your choices, what works for you. You know, if you want to try them, I would suggest getting this set and then having your reds, your blues, you know, your greens, and your, you know, kind of like that. Yeah, reds and oranges, yellows, you know, just divide it up 4 ways. One for blues, one for greens, you know, one for maybe for your pinks and reds or whatever. And then just, you know, you don't want to ever spray your brush, but if you take alcohol and spray a rag, and then you just take your brush. In fact, I'll show you in case you don't know. Let me put these away for now because we don't want to mess them up. Though they are water reactive, so we could, but that's a different day. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because you could do this with all your brushes. You know, if you're using one for lights and darks. So you just put, I think I knocked you over, hold on. You just put some alcohol on your rag, and then you take your brush and it'll see how it lightened the color, and it will and it dries quick, and it takes that color off, and then you're ready to go. So everything's dry, so you can always do that if you want to give them a try and you don't want to invest all that money. So all right, so that is, boy, I did knock you over, didn't I? I'm so sorry. All right, so that's it. Let me know in comments what you think. Tell me which one you like the best out of everything, all 5 of them and the different tests that we went through, in comments. All right, so thank you for, I know this is a long video, but I think it was worth it, and hopefully you know the speed up button that you could speed through parts if you needed to. So all right, so that's it. So leave me a comment, let me know. If you haven't subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button. If you hit the bell, it will send you notifications when a new video is up. Also, the thumbs up is the like button, and that is the only way that YouTube knows you like the video, and they will promote it, which is important for small channels like mine. It means the world. And the share button. If you think a video you like is shareable, that they make it super easy with that button. So, all right, if you have any questions, put them in comments. I read all the comments and I answer. I need to know what your favorite brush is that you use. Do you use the same brushes all the time? Do you have different brushes for different uses besides, you know, the little detail brushes and, you know, like these tiny little brushes? And then which one that you thought was the best out of the ones that we tried? And would you want to purchase the waffle flower when they become available? Would you be thinking about it? Just curiosity. Believe me, I'm tiny. Nobody listens to me. It's just my own curiosity. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for spending this longer time. That's why I did it on a Monday, because they're usually longer. So you have a great week. Stay safe, stay well, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.